Someone spending up to $1,000 a month on groceries, not eating out, not DoorDash, groceries, and they're burning through 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day just to keep up with a physically demanding job. So how do you feed yourself enough to function without wrecking your budget? This one's more nuanced than you'd think. Hey Profiteer, Eric here. Welcome back to Reddit Money Stories. Today we've got a post from the personalfinance subreddit, someone whose grocery bill is eating their paycheck alive, and they're not sure if the answer is just rice and beans forever. Here's the setup. This person works a physically intense job, burns a ton of calories, and they're spending somewhere between $500 and $1,000 a month just on food from the grocery store. Let me read it to you in their own words. So, for context, I work at an incredibly physically intensive job that is also extremely calorie burning. That being said, I also have a tendency to overeat on top of that ADHD, and my grocery bill is $500, $1,000 a month. Help? I'm spending $20, $30 a day on groceries, and I'm just genuinely lost to what to do. I don't have time, attention span, or energy left over to cook actual meals, mostly from work, and also night shift with my energy levels, but at the same time, I try my best to eat somewhat healthy. So my common food items: roasted chickpeas, bananas, blueberries when on sale, raspberries when on sale, bagels, sparkling water, caffeinated sparkling water, for night shift work, whole grain, goldfish, peanuts, apples, and honey bunches of oats cereal. So do I just buy potatoes, oats, beans, and rice on wholesale and just live off exclusively those? Because I probably go through 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day from both my work and also chronic overeating. Okay, first thing I want to say reading this, I feel for this person. They're not blowing money on takeout every night. They're not ordering lobster. They're buying chickpeas and bananas and peanuts. They're genuinely trying, and they're working a physically brutal job on night shifts, which messes with everything: your sleep, your hunger signals, your energy to do anything after work. So before we get into the numbers, I want to acknowledge that this is not a discipline problem. This is a logistics problem. I've been writing about money for over a decade, and one pattern I keep seeing is people treating food budgets like they're purely a willpower issue. They're not. Food is fuel, and when your job demands 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, you can't just cut back. You need a strategy that actually matches your life. So here's what I'd probably do in their shoes. And I want to break this into a few pieces because there's more going on here than just buy cheaper food. The first framework is what I'd call the cost per calorie swap. Not all groceries are created equal when you need serious volume. Look at what the original poster listed: blueberries, raspberries, roasted chickpeas, sparkling water, all fine foods. But berries are some of the most expensive calories you can buy. A pint of raspberries might run you $4 or $5 for maybe 65 calories. Compare that to a 5-pound bag of oats for around $4. That's nearly 9,000 calories. The math isn't even close. And here's why this matters beyond just what's are cheap. When you need 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, your per calorie cost is the number that drives your monthly bill. If your average cost is 15 cents per 100 calories, you're looking at maybe $500 a month at 4,000 calories a day. Get that down to 8 cents per 100 calories, and you're closer to 300. That's potentially $200 a month back in your pocket, $400 a year. That's real money. So the concrete move here: keep the foods you love, but anchor your calorie base in the heavy hitters. Oats, rice, peanut butter, eggs, bananas, beans, potatoes. The original poster actually listed most of these. They just need to shift the ratio. Berries become a topping, not a staple. The bulk of your calories comes from the dense, cheap stuff. The second framework is what I call the zero cook meal prep method, and this is where I think the real unlock is for this person. They said they don't have time, energy, or attention span to cook. Totally fair. Night shifts are brutal. But here's where it gets complicated: the assumption that not cooking means buying more expensive ready-to-eat items is what's inflating the bill. There's a middle ground between cooking elaborate meals and grabbing whatever's convenient. Overnight oats: you literally dump oats, milk, and peanut butter in a jar before bed. That's it. No cooking. No stove. You wake up, it's ready, and it's maybe 50 cents for 500 calories. Peanut butter sandwiches on whole grain bread. Rice from a $10 rice cooker that does all the work while you sleep. Bananas you just peel and eat. Hard-boiled eggs, you make a dozen at once, 12 minutes, then you're done for the week. The point is you don't have to choose between cooking real meals and spending $1,000 a month. You build a system of foods that require almost no effort but cost a fraction of the grab, and go options. Third framework, and this one's straightforward, is the wholesale buying strategy. The original poster actually suggested this themselves. And yes, buying oats, rice, beans, and peanut butter in bulk from a warehouse club, or even just the big bags at a regular grocery store, cuts your unit costs significantly. A 25-pound bag of rice at a warehouse store might run you $15. That's roughly 40,000 calories. You literally cannot beat that math, but I want to add a wrinkle most people miss. Buying in bulk only saves money if you actually eat what you buy. Food waste is the silent budget killer. The USDA estimates the average American household wastes about 30 to 40% of the food they purchase. For someone spending up to $1,000 a month, that could be $300 to $400 in the trash. So bulk buying works, but pair it with foods that have long shelf lives, dry goods, frozen fruits instead of fresh berries, canned beans. That way nothing goes bad before you get to it. Now I do want to mention one more thing, and I want to be sensitive about it. The original poster mentioned ADHD and chronic overeating. That's a medical conversation, not a budgeting conversation, and I'd never tell someone what to do about their health. But I will say this: if the overeating component is driving a meaningful portion of that calorie count, talking to a doctor about it isn't just a health move, it's a financial move. Bringing intake from 4,000 calories down to 3,000, if that's medically appropriate, would cut the grocery bill by roughly 25% on its own. That's potentially $150 to $250 a month saved without changing a single item on the shopping list. I'd always suggest talking to a qualified professional, whether that's a financial advisor for the money side or a doctor for the health side, about your specific situation. One more quick tactical thing: the sparkling water and caffeinated sparkling water. I get it, night shifts need caffeine, and sparkling water feels like a treat, but those can add up fast. A case of caffeinated sparkling water might run $3 to $5 for 8 cans. If you're going through a can or two a night, that's maybe $40 to $60 a month just on fizzy water. A basic SodaStream pays for itself in about 2 months if you're a heavy sparkling water person. And for caffeine pills or bulk coffee are a fraction of the cost. Not glamorous, but effective. So let me put this together into a realistic monthly number. If this person anchors their diet in bulk oats, rice, beans, peanut butter, eggs, bananas, and frozen fruits, with some of their favorite items like bagels and goldfish crackers as extras, I'd estimate they could land somewhere between $300 and $450 a month, even at 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. That's potentially cutting their current spend in half. Over a year, that's $3,000 to $6,000. Real meaningful money. And here's something I want you to do if you're in a similar spot. This week, look at your last grocery receipt or pull up your bank statement and find your 3 most expensive per calorie items. Not the most expensive items total, but the ones where you're paying the most for the fewest calories. Swap just those 3 for cheaper alternatives and see what happens to next month's bill. It always starts with the first dollar. The specific question here was about a $500 to $1,000 monthly grocery bill on a physically demanding job. But the principle, cost per calorie, and building systems that match your actual life instead of some ideal version of it applies whether you're spending $300 or $3,000 a month on food. The best budget isn't the most restrictive one. It's the one you can actually stick with. Personal finance should be fun, or at least it shouldn't make you miserable. If you found this helpful, share it with someone dealing with the same thing. Until next time, stay profitable.